The way BayZoo was treated by his own members, honestly, it's not surprising at all when you really sit back and look at the pattern. Pay attention to how quickly things shifted. Right after that dollar was shown, he was gone. That alone should tell you something wasn't right behind the scenes. Did y'all notice how THFBayZoo publicly said that somebody close to him tried to backdoor him? Then, not even a full month later, Zoo ends up getting killed. That timeline isn't random. When there's no trust, no real loyalty, and no genuine love within your own circle, that's usually the point where separation should happen, because staying around that kind of energy only leads to tragedy. At this point, it really looks like THF definitely backdoored Zoo. Billa and a few others were really the only THF members Zoo could trust. The rest, questionable at best. That says a lot. Rest up, Zoo, fly high, because betrayal from your own is the worst kind. And even if it wasn't his own THF people who directly backdoored him, then someone inside that store definitely made a call. There's no way around that. Somebody at that parts store tipped someone off. That's how they knew exactly who he was and where he was at. He was a known face. People recognized him, but he didn't recognize them. That's the most dangerous situation to be in. And if BayZoo did have a firearm on him, the reality is he probably had very little to no time to even react. By the time he realized what was happening, he was already critically hit. There was no real chance to defend himself or get to it fast enough. It was set up in a way where he was caught completely off guard.
Weekend, BayZoo was killed, and there's surveillance of it. I guess he was at a car park place, and two guys ran up on him, and 39 shots were fired.
Damn, it was 39?
Yep, it was 39.
Is that shit necessary? Put it like this, bro.
I don't want no smoke with nobody, man. Y'all make sure y'all tell the police that, gang. Y'all get on here and call me soft and lame, but y'all be the main ones in the station telling them people I'm terrorizing y'all, gang. Stop lying on me. Y'all got them people on my dick. And hold them. We gonna keep it gangster. We gonna keep it gangster. You hear me? I can expose a lot of these niggas, gang. I got all my court records, every case I ever caught, from the attempt to the murders, to the armed robberies, any case I ever caught and what the crowd would have beat. I got all my paperwork on everybody.
Oh no. No, Booker man, that's the man with the plan. Booker man smoking on that Zuka man for sure. No, we ain't popping no perks for the culture, man. Don't follow me, man. I ain't trying to trend set up for no perk heads, man. I ain't future. No, that ain't what I'm doing, man. That's just my addiction, you hear me? I ain't no pop, no perks for the culture. You know I'm off the earth. I ain't promoting that. That's just like promoting violence, you hear me? I'm just regular, no earrings, no chain, no watch, no bracelet, no ring, you hear me? Still same who I, man. I'm just showing y'all I don't gotta do that shit. Still handsome as hell without my J on, you hear me? You know that. Let folks them just get they raw with that shit, man. Stop wearing that shit for a little bit. Y'all get distracted, man, trying to dress to impress and get all this jewelry, get y'all mouth did, can't even afford it. Y'all riding around in a putt-putt, got a $30,000 chain on your neck. Shit look backwards, man. You know Chicago in here anyway. I don't need no J on, man. I'm still thugging how I'm thugging, you know? You know that. I don't watch basketball. I don't watch NBA. I don't watch TV, period. Damn.
Out of Little Village, 3 men are in the hospital after a shooting. This happened around 3 this afternoon near 31st and St. Louis. Police say those victims were standing in a parking lot when a car drove up and someone inside started firing. One of the men was taken to the hospital in critical condition. The other 2...
The killers keep on snitching themselves. News of THFBayZoo Collier's death first broke after drill rapper OTF Duty Low, who was in the crew Only the Family with THFBayZoo Collier, mourned the loss of his friend on Instagram. And this what he wrote: "My BFF, my brother, my dog taught me a lot. This one hurt WAP man. Everybody know our relationship," he wrote in the caption. "I got your kids for life when I got shot. You jumped on the road, no questions." Fans left hundreds of comments sharing their condolences and prayers. THFBayZoo Collier released drill music with the hip-hop group and label Only the Family, OTF, which has seen many former members killed or thrown behind bars. The OTF brand was started by wildly successful rapper Lil Durk, real name Dirk Banks, who is currently behind bars and being investigated over an alleged murder-for-hire plot. At the beginning of it all, it's very important we cover the depth story of BayZoo earlier life. A member of OTF and Zoo was 2 years older than Lil Durk and grew up on the low end as a member of THF46. Early on, he became best friends with Bruh from THF/Block, who himself is known as a straight menace.
Leave a message to the youth for us real quick, bruh.
Hey, to the youth, man, I'm saying, man, we gotta get better, man. We gotta get better, man. They taking our state's attorney, man. Help, man. We need us. These people trying to snore us, you know, giving us hundreds of years, and they don't give a about us, man. Pay attention, man. We gotta come together.
I don't care too much, like everybody be saying, oh, he don't care about clout, but he always on the internet, like certain shit, you gotta know how to bother yourself from, and that was the whole reason why I deleted my social media.
However, the world surrounding him was dominated by violence, murders, drug trafficking, ruthless individuals, and constant scams. Those realities slowly shaped who he became. The streets molded him long before he had a chance to choose another path.
Hey, what's up, baby? It's low end and no end.
No win. Hey, what's up, man?
That's right. That's right.
So from, and that was the whole reason why I deleted my social media.
Pressure, doubt, and disrespect were nothing unfamiliar. And just as he had done throughout his life, he chose to respond in the only way he knew how, by resurfacing one final time. Not loudly, not recklessly, but intentionally. He wasn't seeking attention or clout. He moved quietly, staying low-key, yet the message was unmistakable. He was still alive, still present, and still unbroken. Then came October 25th, 2025. In a parking lot on the 3100 block of South St. Louis Avenue, the routine suddenly turned fatal. THFBayZoo was walking toward a vehicle alongside 2 other men, a moment that felt ordinary, uneventful, unremarkable, and far from dangerous. Moments like these never come with warnings. That's when 2 armed individuals approached. Without hesitation, gunfire erupted. BayZoo was struck multiple times, shots hitting his head, his torso, and his back. First responders rushed him to a nearby hospital, but the damage was too extensive. He was pronounced dead at 3:54 a.m. on Sunday, October 26. The shooting took place in Chicago's Little Village neighborhood on the city's southwest side, occurring in a parking lot along the 3100 block of South St. Louis Avenue at approximately 3 p.m. Devonsha Collier, known publicly as BayZoo, and 2 other men were hit when an assailant walked up and opened fire. While the 2 additional victims survived with non-life-threatening injuries, BayZoo did not. Authorities have indicated that the shooting is believed to be gang-related and may have been connected to past conflicts or retaliation. However, no arrests have been announced, and the investigation remains ongoing under the Chicago Police Department. In the absence of confirmed information, social media quickly filled the void. Online scoreboards and rumor-driven pages began pointing fingers, frequently naming individuals such as Kill Bill of BTBG and Lil Sam, allegedly associated with Bashville Crazy BVC. These claims spread rapidly, with many asserting that the incident unfolded in Little Village on the southwest side. To truly understand THF and how it came to be, you first have to go back and understand the history of 46 itself, the neighborhood and identity that shaped so many of its members long before today's street politics took over. Despite what many people believe now, 46 was never originally tied to a single gang, set, or nation. In its earliest days, 46 existed more like a family than an organization. It was a tight-knit group of people from the same area who grew up together, protected one another, and moved as one unit before the intense gang wars, internal divisions, and territorial lines that defined the modern era ever became dominant. The older generation from 46, the ones who came up before THF was even a name, operated under a completely different mindset. Among them were Stones, GDs, and even a few BDs, but those labels held very little weight inside the neighborhood. What mattered most was where you were from. Their shared identity as 46 overpowered any gang affiliation, and unity was valued far more than division. Back then, claiming 46 wasn't about politics, alliances, or internet narratives. It was about standing on your block, protecting your people, and defending your name at all costs. During that time, 46 truly functioned as one body. Anyone who came onto their block with disrespect or confusion about affiliations quickly learned that the neighborhood stood together. As one OG put it plainly, it wasn't about Stones, GDs, or BDs. We were all one. If you came over there with that goofy stuff, we'd beat you. That mentality kept order and maintained respect in an environment where unity was survival. As the years passed, however, the streets began to change. Violence escalated, lines were drawn more sharply, and the younger generations inherited a much harsher reality. Out of that evolution came new names and identities, including BayZoo and the generation that would later represent both 46 and THF. While they carried the legacy forward, they grew up in a completely different era, one shaped by nonstop conflict, broken loyalties, and eventually the digital age, where street narratives spread faster than the truth. One detail that often gets misunderstood or misrepresented online is the difference between 46 Lawn and THF. Many people lump the two together or assume they are the same thing, but that isn't accurate. The older heads are clear on this point. THF came later. It branched off from the original 46 foundation and gradually developed its own identity over time. For example, Walt, also known as Walt Dilla, Raheem's father, was not THF. He was 46 Lawn. These distinctions matter to those who lived it, even if they get blurred in modern conversations. Today, TF46 is closely allied with several well-known sets, including Welch World, 600, O-Block, Front Street, Blackgate, Murder Town, Folly Boys, GGE, Lamron, Del Mob, Lexville, Nico Gang, and Tay-Town, essentially much of the OTF circle. For people who truly understand the streets, these alliances don't need much explanation. They were built through shared history, mutual respect, and standing together during critical moments. While there have been occasional tensions or small disagreements over the years, none were serious enough to break those bonds or turn into full-blown conflicts. Much of that stability can be credited to BayZoo's leadership. Zoo always carried himself with a level of maturity that set him apart. He didn't entertain unnecessary drama, chase clout, or allow petty street politics to ruin long-standing relationships. He stayed focused, grounded, and respectful, understanding that leadership wasn't about loudness, it was about responsibility. Despite how widely these narratives have circulated, none of the allegations have been verified by law enforcement or supported by any credible official sources. As of now, there are no confirmed police reports or public statements that validate what is being claimed online. Everything circulating remains speculation. Still, that reality hasn't slowed the internet down. Rumors continue to travel faster than facts as people rush to fill in unanswered questions with assumptions. As we are approaching to an end of the story, there are many lessons we can take from this story. What makes this case so powerful and so troubling is not just the violence itself, but everything surrounding it. The buildup, the silence, the speculation, the history, and the way truth becomes blurred when streets, loyalty, and the internet collide. When all of it is examined carefully, several clear lessons emerge. First lesson: violence is rarely random. One of the most important lessons is that street violence, especially at this level, is almost never accidental. The circumstances surrounding BayZoo's killing point toward intention, not coincidence. Whether or not one believes the backdoor theory, the reality is that attacks like this usually stem from long-running conflicts, accumulated tension, and unresolved histories. Street narratives often frame deaths as sudden or unexpected, but the truth is that these moments are usually the final chapter of a much longer story. Grudges don't disappear, disrespect doesn't expire, and past actions, no matter how old, can resurface when least expected. Violence may appear spontaneous to outsiders, but it is usually the result of years of buildup. Second lesson: trust shrinks as survival continues. BayZoo himself acknowledged that his circle was small. That detail matters more than many realize. As time passes in the streets, trust does not expand, it contracts. The longer someone survives, the more they learn that loyalty is fragile and conditional. This story reinforces a hard truth. Longevity often comes with isolation. People disappear, alliances shift, motivations change, and yesterday's bond does not guarantee tomorrow's protection. Even when betrayal is not proven, the fear of betrayal becomes a constant presence. That psychological weight alone can change how people move, think, and interact. Third lesson: internal friction weakens external defense. Whether or not internal betrayal occurred, the presence of internal tension matters. Divisions, personal, generational, or territorial, create vulnerability. A group does not need to be actively at war with itself to become weakened. It only needs unresolved distrust. History repeatedly shows that fractured organizations struggle to protect their most visible figures. Confusion about leadership, loyalty, or direction creates blind spots. And in environments where enemies are watching closely, any internal instability becomes an opportunity. Fourth lesson: reputation can be a double-edged sword. BayZoo's name carried weight. Respect, fear, and reputation followed him for years. But reputation cuts both ways. The same name that protects someone at one stage of life can also make them a permanent target later. In street culture, reputations don't fade quietly. They linger, they provoke. They invite challenges from those seeking validation, revenge, or status. Even stepping back, moving quietly, or staying low does not erase a legacy. In some cases, it only delays the inevitable confrontation with it. Fifth lesson: the internet distorts reality faster than the streets ever could. One of the most dangerous elements in this story is not a person, it's the speed of misinformation. Online narratives, scoreboards, rumors, and speculative blame spread instantly, often replacing facts before facts even exist. Names get attached to events without evidence. Claims turn into truth through repetition. And once a story takes hold online, correcting it becomes nearly impossible. This lesson reminds us that silence from authorities does not justify reckless conclusions, and viral certainty is not the same as factual certainty. Sixth lesson: drill culture amplifies conflict beyond the physical world. Drill music and online taunting don't just reflect street conflict, they escalate it. Lyrics, videos, and posts become weapons of psychological warfare. They reopen wounds, provoke retaliation, and keep conflicts alive long after the initial events. In this case, post-death taunting followed a familiar pattern. Whether symbolic or factual, it reinforces how culture and violence feed into one another. The line between performance and reality becomes dangerously thin, and consequences often outlive the moment of expression. Seventh lesson: history never truly stays in the past. BayZoo's story stretches back decades, not just through his own life, but through the history of 46 THF and the evolving structure of Chicago's streets. Old alliances, old grudges, old transitions all shape present outcomes. People often underestimate how deeply history influences modern events. Moves made years ago still matter. Words spoken long ago still echo. And environments shaped by generations of conflict don't reset simply because time passes. This lesson reminds us that every chapter is connected, even when it seems distant. My final thought: BayZoo's death is tragic, But the greater tragedy may be how easily truth becomes buried beneath speculation. This story teaches us that certainty is rare in environments built on silence, survival, and image. What remains clear is not who did what, but what this life ultimately demands. Constant vigilance, shrinking trust, and acceptance that the past never truly lets go. Until verified facts emerge, the most responsible position is restraint. Analysis should sharpen understanding, not fuel accusation. BayZoo's life and death serve as a reminder that in the streets, survival is temporary, loyalty is complicated, and the line between friend, foe, and rumor is often dangerously thin.